factory. I set this stuff up. I'll let you guys. Feels like I'm missing something. What did I forget to set up? Hopefully it's nothing. Apologies if I can't hear anything. Let me know in the chat if you can't either. I do not know this stuff. I'm not sure what's going on, likely because I just updated the what's it called? App. But I don't have audio. Hopefully you guys do. We do see BLC. Oh, that's what I forgot to set up. Two players sitting storage. One goes down. Refragged though. They're also going to get only one pick on BLC. It's going to be low on AB door. Flicker will swing out and get one. Now it's 4v2 hover. Trick is going to be able to get mod C. That's going to even it out a tiny bit. You know what? Be careful more because just like that, we just got a 2K, 2v1 now. Kazoo is on his own. Interesting static placement. We'll see if it's able to cut off the complete walkway. No, but it won't give any audio. Kazoo is able to get tricked. Now it's a 1v1. However, does he know the last player's in a Ooh, good guess. However, not in a good enough aim to combat that. And Moon also had audio cues. Kazoo did not. Unfortunate fault there. However, a good option, no matter what the circumstances were. He was able to change his head level and become a little bit less predictable. Also, apologies if teammate is not actually Nova. I'm pretty sure it is. Clan tag does not help. Just like, alright, well, you guys need to let me know in the chat if you guys are getting audio, because I do not know. We're seeing a really active defense here on the side of Nova. 2 players upstairs. And goes Lion. Flicker, however, great 2K there upstairs. It's going to clear out the roam upstairs for now. Someone decides to rotate up. However, that wouldn't be the greatest idea for Nova. They only have 3 players on site for. We do see wall getting blown as well. This is going to really start to get the push started. Instant respawn is really going to help get this plant down as well. Moon is able to throw an instant though. That's going to be unfortunate there. They pick 3v3 now. They're gonna get planted. No, not planted yet. Kazoo and SGA Gonna trade out a little bit. Now it's gonna be 2v2. Same HP though. They do have to be aware of both players in con though. They need to make sure they're not swung. Grenade goes out. Kazoo. And Kazoo is refragged, however Ton is there to refrag him. Good trades coming out. It's going to be BLC trading that round. 1-1 tied. Now on top floor. Nova did pretty good bottom floor defense. However, middle floor BLC did come out on top, and I'm willing to say it was because of the very aggressive roam. However, it's not quite as easy to do an aggro roam here on top floor. We also see the new C4 gadget coming out. I personally have done some testing, and it seems to be mostly for blowing walls. It doesn't seem to be great for killing people or really even doing damage. At the range Fury is at, they only do like 50 damage, so not the greatest for combining with proximities. However, it is for either scaring away players or blowing walls on defense, which can be very useful. Ryan is going to be able to get one, and Walker is going to be able to get the other player in blockers. That's going to be a good clear. Now it's a 5v2. We do have full one covered. We is wall. SG in sight is able to get one. However, no, it is still a 2v4. This is still going to be very tough for Nova to win. They need to cover this plan though. Just able to swing out, get one. However, Modzy able to get the 2k. And BLC is also going to get EMP planted. After the recent changes to the cost of Spectral, $50 more, I do think it's going to be much more important to get more money, because you used to be able to get Spectral and Instant with $150 left. However, now you only have 25 left. Or no, that number doesn't add. I don't know, something. You have less money at the start now, so getting EMP planted, that extra $200 is going to be very important. Interesting C4. I wonder if they're going to get the wall blown immediately. That'd be a very interesting play. I wouldn't really expect, and they will. It's very interesting. You usually wouldn't want that wall to be blown because it's direct line of sight into the objective. However, perhaps they're going to be able to use this to their advantage instead, especially with this door block over here. That's going to allow Trick to get a pick without Ryan being able to do anything. That's going to set us up for the rest of the round, hopefully. BLC is down a player, but Ton is able to refract that. It's going to take a little bit of time. Baker is able to get only after they got big. Ton now getting one who swung out. Unfortunate trade there, could have been avoided. It had a little bit better reaction cover. But not much that can be done about that. Now it's a 2v2. One center, oh, maybe both center. Or is that Con? No, they were both center. Now one's center, one's door. Flicker is able to get Cheeto. Now it's a 2v1. BLC is looking pretty good here. Better utility, same guns, more players though. So if they play this smart, they can very easily win this round. Always count on Flicker for those amazing flicks. Something I've noticed with Flicker, he is a very good rifle player. And I'm pretty sure pretty good with pistols as well. He's definitely an outstanding shooter. Maybe could use a little bit of practice with utility. I haven't really seen him use much, but as I say that, he's bought 4 flashbangs. Not sure what he's gonna do with those. Remember, please do tell me if there is audio. I'm not sure. I can't tell. realized I've been muted the whole time. RIP. Well, there goes all that commentary. Anyway, we see a high-low coming out here. Very... I was about to say common strategy, however, it's actually been quite a while since I've seen it used. SG is able to get one using that Cadillo. Even after seeing the nerf, the buff there, sorry, 25% fire rate increase. It's become very popular. I've seen it a lot in control points so far. Foam is on wall. They're going to be able to get that blown soon. They still have EMP as well. One player is still off-site upstairs. You're going to have to be careful. Trick is going to be able to get Lion, however. Good pick. That's going to make it 4-3. Flicker almost makes it into sight. However, Trip's coming out from Trick. Trick comes out, gets one, man, refrags that. Now it's a 1v3. We've seen man come back from a 1v3 before. Ooh, and Cheeto is able to get to man. Not to be toxic or anything, but a friendly reminder to whoever went onto the boxes in official VRML matches. Damn, this getting on top of these boxes for a lead peak over here is a illegal peak, because vaulting onto this box and then walking up to these boxes counts as a wiggle walk. I'm not completely sure on why it counts as a wiggle walk, however, that is what I've been informed by a lot of League players. So just keep that in mind for future times. A lot of utility here on the ground. Always good to see. It's the last round of the half. You want to use as much as possible. Oh, this is interesting. I'm looking forward to this round. We see BLC, 3 players vent. You never see this really. They have drop vent, they have control outside B. Instant goes out. It's going to catch a lot of damage on Flicker. Monster is going to be able to get EMP on the wall. Flicker also running into sight. He's gotten a pick already. Man also getting one. Flicker has gotten a second pick. Now it's a 5v2. This play really paid off. They were able to take control of sight very quickly. They were able to win those gunfights, and that won them the round. Going out upstairs. Both players are upstairs. Lion is able to get Yuri, who dropped down. Now it's a 1v5. Cheeto's gonna have to make a move. EMP is planted. Unfortunate timing there, just barely looks away from the angle as the player passes. He's going to have to either drop or save. However, saving is not really an option right now. Oh. Never mind, he saves. And then dies? Not quite sure what happened there. However, not much Cheeto could have done. It was a 1v5, EMP was planted, all of the players were on site. Very good push in coming out from BLC. You don't usually see that vent push. It's very dangerous to go in through there. However, it did work out for them. Tonman doing pretty well here. 8-3. Flicker falling behind a tad. Perhaps they're just a little bit better at factory. And maybe it's even just a side thing. People do tend to be a little bit better at certain maps or sides. Even different sides on the same map. Very challenging if you're not sure of what you're doing. Flashbang goes out. And defense does get wall blown. Instant goes out. Flicker is able to save teammates there. Instant will go out. Trick able to get that pick. Now it's a 4v4, however, Nova at health disadvantage. They're going to be able to retreat into them. They have to be careful for the stairs row. Lion Insight is able to get one. Trick refragging. Yuri is also here in... Oh no, they're in sight. Trick is holding Con right now. And Yuri seems to be on the hallway point. So will go out, denying entry. Yuri able to get one. Kazoo refrags. Now it's a 2v2. One in break room, one in sight. Kazoo saving their teammate. The last guy's in the corner, but Moon is able to get the 2K. Very good round there from Nova. Man, Breachers. Why can't you swap it? Nova. Very good round there. They were able to get control of hallway. However, they did lose a player. They were able to refrag it though. Very good. You always want to be going for refrags whenever possible. Does seem like they're contemplating C4 locations. That one in the bomb is quite interesting. Not sure if it's even going to get any hits since it's in that corner. Granted, plant does tend to happen in this close corner and you lean up to the bomb. However, if you're doing that, you would likely see that C4. Not sure how that is going to work out. C4 on wall. Perhaps they're going to get it open early. Perhaps try to catch the offense off guard. Looks like they will. Hopefully it opens up an angle. A lot of damage onto the players there. Good to get early damage. Especially if they don't have any healing syringes, which they don't. And it's going to get a bit of damage on the Maybe able to get one pick and swing south for a second. Won't quite be able to get that. Really very low though. 5 HP. 4v4, however, health economy is in the favor of BLC. Ooh, really nice. Off angle is able to get man over there in on area. Instant goes out. That's gonna be able to catch Yuri. Good instant from Modzy. Kazoo also getting a pick on the roam. Very good. Moon and SGA on their own now. Health has been evened out a tiny bit, however, it's still pretty majorly in the favor of BLC. There is a player on stairs holding that flank. They're not going to be able to rotate very easily, and Modzy on that pixel angle, very good. Now it's a 3v1, SGA on their own. They're looks like going to be trying to go for a rotate. Ooh, very good flick there. Kazoo goes down. And BLC is rotating accordingly. Amazing flick there. Modzy goes down. Cadillo putting in work for SGA. Now it's a 1v1. Flicker is 50 HP. However, if SGA can pull off similar shots that they've been doing, that doesn't matter. You have to be careful because Flicker also has a Cadillo. Time is running out. Flicker's gonna have to make a move. They know where each other are, and ooh, very good shots coming out from SGA. That's gonna get round 5 for Nova. Or sorry, round 8 for Nova. 5th round for Nova. BLC did a pretty good job there in the beginning, trading out kills from Lion, using that new C4 to break the wall that can often take teams off guard, especially since, for example, in that hallway, it's really hard to cross that open gap. If there's people holding that wall, you're not going to be able to cross at all. So that's really going to slow down the push of a team. And Lion was able to slow down them a tiny bit while getting a pick. They did die afterwards, however, it was still a good pick. However, in the end, SGA with that Cadillo was able to get all those, that 3k clutch, I believe it was, along with EMP. That's going to be a lot of money for them, and very good round. Do see a instant procs bait, or sorry, not instant procs, C4 procs bait coming out. Not uncommon from what I can tell. It's probably going to be the most, or the easiest way to get picks with that C4. However, I still think it's not the best way to use C4s. I think it's better to use C4s purely for throwing walls. Flicker with some trip mines. Very good early pick there for defense. Always have to pay attention for those trip mines, because as we saw there, it's able to get very good early picks. There is also Lion there on the roam. It might be a little bit difficult for them to take care of. However, may have rotated back. No. Apologies. He's still there. Ooh, Trick goes down to Ton. Oh, Flicker. Not sure how he won that gunfight. SGA refracted. Now it's a 4v2 in favor of BLC. Almost the complete opposite as last time. Especially given the fact that BLC has a pretty big weapon disadvantage. They're all on SMGs and they've been beating a full team of rifles. Still 2v4, one's still on roam. They have to be careful. Backside being a little bit of a pain. Lion not being too aggressive on the roam either. Ooh, Flicker going down. Unfortunate pick there. That's going to even out a tiny bit. 2v3. However, there's 10 seconds on the clock. BLC has done an amazing job stalling. And now SG is going to have to swing in for EMP. Not sure how they were able to... Wait. Okay. Interesting visual bug. Not sure what was going on there in the kill feed. Sprite kill thumbnail? Likely, okay. The picture. I mean, I guess I'll report that to Triangle Factory afterwards. Not sure what happened. BLC was able to win that round, while I believe that was all SMGs, one rifle. That's very hard to do against a full team of rifles. I believe it was. I think it was a full team of rifles. Here, wait. Marui, Vezin, Cadillo, Marui. Yeah, that was full rifles, and they went in with... No, they went in with full SMG. an incredible place there from BLC. They were able to win a round, rifle round of the opponent using just SMGs. Very good. We do see Kazoo Dude here in hallway. However, they won't be pushing hallway, unfortunately. It's going to be an A-site push coming out. Ooh, a lot of damage through wall there. Yuri's going to take beating. Ooh, and Moon goes down to the line. Good wall bangs. Yuri is able to refrag that though. And a second kill. Have to be careful for that C4, however. Ooh, that might be the primer for it. Shot out anyway, so not much that can be done with it anymore. Good to get it out of the way though. 4v3 Nova is at a health disadvantage right now, mostly. Trick and Yuri are below half HP. Does seem like it could be a rotation. However, Kazoo Dude, ever patient on the other site, may be able to hear this and call it out. He's also made it to stairs. This could be devastating for Nova. Kazoo could get a free pick or two. That's 1, 2. Oh, goes down. However, not before getting 2, and Mods also helping. Getting a pick. SGA is now on their own. We have seen them clutch with a Cadillo. Now they have a better gun. However, man, they're on the stairs, able to get the last pick on SGA. Now they've tied it out 5-5, much closer map. We will also be seeing not full economy coming out from both sides. Okay, good. For a second, I thought Kazoo was about to buy a Knut. We see 4 rifles coming out from the side of BLC. No, 5. Teammates bought a rifle for Flicker. Very good to see. 5 rifles coming out from the side of BLC. Whoever wins this round puts it to match point and possibly winning out the whole map. We do see 5 rifles coming out from the side of Nova as well. However, 2 of them are Cadillos. That's not going to offer quite as much firepower as a Vezin or Marui. However, it's still better than an SMG or a pistol due to that, hidden C4 tag. Cadillo is still better than an SMG or pistol because of its one-shot headshot potential. Do see a security side push. There is going to be a door blocker. That might make it a little bit difficult to push in. However, there isn't actually anyone in security. That's going to make it a little bit easier. They do have to be careful for the roam downstairs though. We did see, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong count. Oh, good nade, might almost caught out one. SGA and Yuri getting picks. Yuri in sight. Oh, they have full sight. Kazoo is on his own. Does look like he may be saving. Does seem a save is in order. It is a 1v4. He has a rifle and a stim. Not a bad thing to save. There is a C4, however, he doesn't have the primer for that. And I believe it's actually in hallway. I'm not sure though. I do wonder where that is. That's hallway, right? No. Oh, it's unplaced. Alright. Kazoo's gonna wait out the EMP, saving that rifle. Going into round 12, Nova has match point right now. If BLC wants to pull this back, they need to win this and overtime. We will be seeing basically a full buy from both teams. Ryan looks like he's going to be the only one not able to buy a rifle. Mozzie is able to buy a rifle. Wait, then where'd the Omen go? However, possibly last round of the game. We do see, I believe, yes, Kazoo dude downstairs. Good roam spot. Wall is blown. Interesting not playing off it more. The offense is making their way in. However, it would be difficult to push in with this wall blown. Smoke does go out. That should help a little bit. However, there is still the downstairs roam. Utility coming out from BLC. It's going to once again flicker. I wonder if that, I don't know. Kazoo, however, on the roam gets one. Flicker also gets a pick. Trick is able to get Kazoo, who is on the roam. That's going to even it out a tiny bit. 2v4 instead of 2v5. However, the damage is still done. It's going to be very hard to come back from this. Flicker getting a pick. And now Trick is on its own. He has gotten one. However, he could be double swung in a moment. Never mind. Ton is able to get that pick. And now it's OT. Who's picking? Ooh. BLC is picking by just a little bit. BLC has chosen defense. I do believe that was the smarter play. We are once again middle floor. We will see how they decide to defend this. This is the same floor they had last time. I do think getting that wall blown was a relatively good idea though. It kind of stalled the push a little bit for Nova. They weren't quite sure what to do because usually when that wall is broken, you have everyone where they need to be. However, if it's broken early, you're not quite sure what to watch. It's really unfamiliar angles. Very hidden proxies coming out. That's something that only really comes from map knowledge. We do see a roam upstairs along with a player over in B. Should be good to cover. Oh. Okay. Didn't realize I was actually there. Player's not pushed up yet. Really slow push coming out. Wall here in museum has been blown. Drone going in. Likely that's what they're waiting for. It does look like it may be a rotate over to B site. Does look like Yuri is going to be crouch walking into some flashbang goes out. Not sure if it caught anyone. Well, that one did. Defense taking a lot of damage. However, offense also taking a lot as well. Kazoo is able to get a refrag. Another pick. Moon goes down. Mozzie supporting Kazoo there. Now it's a 3v1. And SGA might be disconnected. This is really unfortunate here for Nova. He has disconnected, and luckily Yuri is taking over bot. However, Lion crouch walking from the stairs is able to get a map to win. Much closer map than last time. We got to OT. However, BLC did come out on top. I will put final scores up, and then I need to go get some water. Oh, that might actually be the scrim. Unfortunately, most of the Nova players have left already. However, all of the players on BLC doing very good. 3 double digits, 2 relatively close. Oh, that's actually kind of crazy. They all left before even saying GG. Unfortunate. However, pretty good second map. Much closer than before. Anyways, that's probably the end of the scrim. I would likely assume so. So, thanks for tuning in. If you did, not sure what my next cast is going to be. I will be a little bit more busy. School, Preachers, Vale, and also Onward. So, I'll try to maybe post a little bit of stuff of my matches that will be starting soon, actually. VRML season for Vale and Preachers starts the 15th. And Onward, I believe it's not next month, but the month after on the 1st. Anyway, that's the end, and see you in the next video or the next cast.